Hey, everybody, we are live. It is Tuesday, June 3rd,
June 3rd.
2025. I'm here with Melissa, my
Hey, everybody.
co-host. And we're live on Tuesdays at noon. So thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this after it's recorded. We are glad that you're here. And on today's show, we're talking about how businesses get you to pay more. And I don't like paying more.
Yeah, no, you don't.
And here's what gets me about this is you're paying more for the exact same product or service. Here's what I always think about. You go to the cash register and you're ready to buy something for $20. They ring it up and it's $15. And it's like, they could have just gotten that 20. I was fully prepared to pay $20 and it's 15. And I think that's fantastic. I want the 15, not the 20. And so we want to make sure that you're paying. And this is most important on really big purchases.
Yeah.
So we're talking houses, cars, student loans, all those kind of things. We don't want to get overcharged, right? And I actually think that this is leading to, people talk about things today cost more, college costs more than ever. I was talking to my father-in-law about how much college cost when they were there, and it was hundreds of dollars. Like
that is crazy.
Per semester, it was like 200. And again, obviously inflation, yes, but
obviously.
That is not, there's more happening.
Yeah.
And I think what we're talking about today is the thing that's happening.
Yeah.
So before we jump into that, I do want to go over comments. We've had some comments in the past week. Some Melissa's going to read those. I was going to pull those up and then we'll jump into the topic. So number one comment.
Mark John.
Yeah.
I have a friend named John Mark. The rewards. So this is on your Fidelity Rewards Visa credit card. The rewards are next to nothing. Maybe I don't like spending. Wait, I'm sorry. Maybe I don't spend like most people do, though. So let me read that again. That's a little rough. The rewards are next to nothing. Maybe I don't spend like most people do, though.
So Mark John is saying there's not much. It's 2% on the Fidelity Rewards card. It's 2%
like
cash
no big
back.
deal. Yeah.
And I think also more broadly, because I think that's a decent, especially for cash back. But just more broadly, the rewards are nothing on credit cards, which I don't disagree. I actually somewhat agree. And so, especially if you're not spending a decent amount on the cards, especially if you're prone to going into credit card debt, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. Don't, like, you might hear credit card hackers and all these people talking about, well, I do this and I'm missing out. You might
free vacations.
And you're going to have this FOMO of like, oh no, you're not missing out on too much. If it is 2% cash back and you spend $10,000, I don't know what the average person puts on their credit card in a year, but let's just say $10,000, you're getting $200. Like, it's not a ton of money. We're not talking about a life, like $100,000 is $2,000. Like, that's a lot of money to put on a credit card. I have to imagine $100,000 and $2,000 is like, we're planning a vacation right now, and maybe depending on where you're going, it'll cover the airfare. Maybe. Like it's not a huge deal. So you're not wrong, Mark John. Was that right?
That's right.
And so don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. So thanks for watching. All right, comment number 2.
Fine print mentions something about Elon Financial that manages the accounts for Fidelity, and I've read mostly negative reviews because of them. Has this been your experience?
It has not been my experience.
Okay.
I've worked with this is on the Fidelity card. I've probably over a decade, maybe close to 2 decades. I know other people who have used it for decades before I used it, and no major issues. But I'm not surprised to hear that a financial company has made some people upset. Like it would not be unheard of. And maybe at some point I'll get burned. And it's also not something I've just heard about generally. With that card. And frankly, I haven't heard about Elon Financial, and that may or may not be an issue, but it has not been an issue for me from my experience. All right, comment number 3, this last comment.
All right. Oh, this is very nice. My partner sent this to me, I believe they mean the video, when I started asking about insurance. Your video is such high quality and plenty entertaining. Appreciate the genuine advice. Wishing you and your family a great today and greater tomorrow.
Well,
Isn't that nice?
Gonna make me blush.
That's so sweet.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was on our Insurance 101 video. So if you need a refresher on insurance or just want to learn more about it, that's definitely a good video to watch. So thank you all for commenting. We love it. Next up
Okay.
is update about our subscriber count. We are
Where
on
are we
a
at now? I'm
mission
on pins and needles.
to overthrow Dave Ramsey,
Yes.
the Godfather. Now, we have made some huge progress this week because we made about a 3 million subscriber progress. Let me tell you how.
Wow. Where did you get that math?
So yeah, I was originally comparing us to the Ramsey Show highlights channel.
Okay.
And in gathering the most recent numbers from today, I realized we should be comparing ourselves to the Ramsey Show page.
Okay. So the highlights are just the smaller clips instead of
Highlights
the
are the
longer.
smaller
Okay.
clips. The Ramsey Show is the original. I don't know if it's the original channel, but it's the main show channel. And that has less than 1 million subscribers. So
Look
we've
at
gone
us.
from a goal of 4 million to a goal of, I think that's fair. Don't you feel like we should be competing against
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
not the
yeah,
highlights
the
for
long
now?
form,
Hey,
yeah,
once we
yeah.
get this goal, we'll worry about the highlights channel. So we've made a 3 million progress. So he has 970,000 subscribers on that
Okay.
channel. We, as of this week, have 550. So I think we've gained 5 subscribers. Thank you to our 5
Thank
new
you.
subscribers. If you want to join in on this mission to overthrow Dave Ramsey, subscribe now and let's do it together. All right, so we are going to jump to a video. So this is what inspired this topic today.
Okay.
I've seen this commercial so many times on YouTube, and it drives me nuts.
Time has a big announcement. An even easier way to buy a car. You make the deal yourself.
When you hear that, I'm going to play the rest of the video. This is a 30-second commercial. We are 6 seconds
Okay,
in.
okay.
You make the deal yourself. What does that
Okay.
sound like? What do you think? What kind of deal do you think you're making?
Can I hear that first
Yes.
6 seconds again?
She was on her phone, everyone.
I'm trying to make sure that the sound was working.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. So
Thank you.
excuse me, I was doing my
Thank
job,
you. Thank
but
you.
I couldn't fit.
Was the sound working?
It doesn't allow me to.
Okay,
get,
don't worry about it.
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Drive Time has a big announcement. An even easier way to buy a car. You make the deal yourself.
Oh, that's not going to be good. Whatever it is.
Just don't base it on what you
Okay, I
like.
think they're
Don't
gonna-
critical
okay,
thinking
okay,
based
okay,
on what
okay,
they're
okay,
saying. When
okay.
they say you make the deal yourself,
I bet it's going to. Well, let's see.
what should that mean? What should that mean if someone was being straightforward and direct and honest
what
and
should it
clear?
mean?
Yeah, what should that mean when someone says that?
I don't even know what I would think that would mean. I'm
You make the deal
Picking-
yourself.
not the interest rate. I would think that they're probably saying like the amount you want to pay per month.
So I would think that when you say you make the deal yourself, the deal is on a car. We're buying a car. So I would think
just
it would
know
be the
that's not what
price.
they're
It's
saying.
not. It's not.
know that's not what they're
But the
saying.
first couple times I heard it, the deal yourself, I'm like, oh, so one of the things I think is interesting is people love to negotiate.
Yeah.
They love, so this is a great angle from a marketing perspective to say you get to make the deal yourself. And one thing that's interesting about like these newer car companies like CarMax, no negotiation. Tesla, no negotiation. The price is the price, which on one level is nice from a purchasing standpoint, just knowing there's clarity
out-
around
yeah,
that.
clarity,
There's
yeah.
no stress. I'm not asking myself, have I hit rock bottom of really
Yeah.
what the lowest price is? Because I have. There's no negotiation. So there's pros and cons with that, but people love negotiating.
Yeah.
So, make a deal to me sounds like they're communicating what I feel like it should mean is the price of the car.
Yeah.
But we'll go on.
Make the deal myself.
It's the Drive Time Real Deal Maker.
Pump the brakes, Tim.
I can't. I'm too excited.
It lets you customize the real down payment and monthly payment.
I knew it.
So it's real down payment and monthly payment is
They
really
love
what we're doing.
to get that monthly payment like down, even if you're paying 10 years. Yeah.
And here's the problem. This is just with buying with loans and credit in general, but in particular, just in this instance, to me, it is like sleight of hand, like a magician. Instead of focusing on the real cost to you, which there's a handful of primary costs, right? We have the cost of the vehicle. We have fees because dealers love to throw in all these fees and stuff like that. And then we have interest rate if you are using a loan to buy. They're not focusing on any of that. They're saying the down payment and the monthly payment, which are related, and it's a slider. So it's like if you do less of a down payment, your payments are going to go up. But if you want your payments to go up, you do more.
Yeah.
but there's no deal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
negotiating terms, which is part of the deal. But I'm talking about the numbers that actually dictate how much you're paying total are not a part of that deal.
Well, and I realized this when we went to go buy our Mazda. I did not realize this was the new. This has been like 6 or 8 years ago. I did not realize this is the new stick because when we walked in, they're like, "What do you want your monthly payment to be?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I know what I want the car to be." And they're like,
Right.
"No, we can get you at the monthly payment you want."
Right.
Oh, it's
right.
tricky.
It's a sleight of hand.
Yeah.
It's a sleight of hand. And it's a smart sleight of hand and it works. So we'll finish out the commercial just to make sure there's nothing else.
I make the deal myself?
It's your car. You should make the deal.
You're in
you want.
control.
You can customize terms on literally
Customize.
thousands of cars in no time. The deal you make on your phone is the deal you pay.
You make the deal yourself!
Look at
The
that.
real deal at drivetime.com.
Drives
Makes
me
you so
nuts.
angry.
Drives me nuts. So let's talk about a couple things. One is they want you to focus on the payment amount. They want you to not focus on the price of the car. It's research shows when we use credit to purchase something, we pay more. Like there's just study after study after study that shows us. I'm going to go over
You
a couple.
don't feel the pinch the same way.
I'm going to go over a couple. So this is a 2001 MIT study. This was like not theoretical. This was a Celtics playoff game ticket auction.
Okay.
And it was a sold out game, so you couldn't get tickets. So before bidding, each student drew a card that told them if they were going to pay cash tomorrow or pay with a credit card tomorrow if they won the bid. Nothing else changed. So how much more did you pay? Average willingness to pay jumped from $28.51 for cash to $60.64 for
Wow.
credit. So that's 113%.
Yeah.
Again, this is not theoretical. This was real. So that was that one. That was a 2001 MIT. And then this is another one that's kind of like adjacent and interesting. And that is, I forget, there's some theory that basically talks about like, you know, the theory for time. And it's like, if you allow 10 minutes for a project, you're going to spend 10 minutes on a project.
Exactly,
If you allow
yeah.
30 minutes, usually you're going to spend 30 minutes on the project. So this is that theory, but for credit, right? So, 35 million five banks randomly raised credit limits for subset of customers. And then they followed their spending for a year. Can you guess what happened?
Well, they spent more.
They spent on average of 11% more.
Wow.
In the 6 months after only a $1,000 limit bump. So that's not very much.
That's not very much.
And that's,
But
11% across the board spending increase. So when we use credit, we spend more.
Yeah.
And when I talk about earlier, I alluded to like the bigger problems with society. Like I think of college. I think college is a great example. And what happened was, and there's pros and cons. There's good things about it. Like college loans are available to everyone. You can get approved for a college loan. It's not based on your credit. You can get approved. It's somewhat unlimited. Like there's not a ton of limits on it. So we have, when we talk about that second study where when they increase your limits, it increases your spending. We're saying to 18-year-olds, you have as much money as you need to go to college and you will be approved. So what that does is that shifts our focus off of the total amount that we're paying for whatever it is. And what does it shift it to? To me, it shifts it to features. It shifts it to experience. It shifts it to payments, right? Like it shifts it to all these other things that are less important in my book. And so what happens is now the colleges are competing on features,
Interesting.
not competing on price, because price isn't an issue. There's no friction when it comes to price. So if there's no friction on price, well, what are people going to look at? Oh, well, I can go anywhere I want as long as I get in. And then what am I going to look at? I'm going to look at the features. Well, do they have a cool rock climbing wall? Well, what does the student lounge look like? Do they have a swimming pool? Like how nice are the facilities? Those things start to become a concern, right?
And all that makes it more expensive.
And
like
that makes
the
it more expensive.
rock climbing walls,
Right.
swimming pools.
And so same thing with cars. If we're not focused on the price of the car, we've shifted our focus to payments and features. And when we do that, well, now we have a Tesla. Sarah has a Tesla. the features are silly. Like you can't even reach forward and move your air vent. You have to go into the computer system, and there are motorized air vents to move it around. That's a feature that they've added. It's interesting and cool for the first time. But it's kind of a pain. It's less convenient to go into a computer system, but that's what happens is now we're competing on features. We're not competing on price, because if we were truly competing on price, they would be doing everything they could to, on some level to bring those prices down. But people on average are paying with loans, and on average, they're not as price sensitive. There is some consideration. They're going to have a range, but that range is going to be broader. So I went into the Drive Time. I opened up the Drive Time app and made my own real-time deal.
What did you get?
So, can you guess what the average interest rates for car loans is right now on used cars for people with very good credit, which we have good credit, is 10%. So, how much do you think their interest rate is?
Oh,
which is not 16, a part of the negotiation.
16?
20
18?
plus percent.
Stop it.
20 plus
That's
percent.
like a bad credit card.
Yeah, it's bad. But we're not worried about it.
Not worried about it because we get to make our own deal.
So that it's sleight of hand, you know what I mean? So okay, so here are my general rules when it comes to buying stuff with debt. When we're getting a loan, I want to slow down and I want to be thoughtful. I never want to do anything impulsive. And then two, if I'm using debt, I want to be buying the necessity level. Like there's two levels to this. There is you need a car for transportation. You don't need a nice car, right? So one is a need and one is a lifestyle. We need a place to live, but we don't need the best, most awesome place to live, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm needing to use loans, I'm okay with car loans in certain situations. I'm okay with obviously mortgages in certain situations and college debt in certain situations. But we want to slow down and we want to go to the minimum. I'll give you what I think is a good example. We didn't go into debt. We kind of did. It was complicated, but this was Sarah's college for her master's. She became a nurse practitioner. So she was a MP, and then she became a nurse practitioner. And so when we were looking at those programs, there was 2 programs that she got accepted into. I think both were about 2 years. One of them cost for the entire program what it cost for one semester of the other one. So it was 25% of the total cost. Wow. And at the end of the day, the one might have been a slightly better program, a better experience. It would have looked better to have that name on her diploma. But in the end of the day, she wouldn't have made more money.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been a payoff for that extra money, but it would have felt better. It would have been more exciting. It would have been more prestigious. And so those are the kind of things that we want to say, whether that's a car, whether that's college or the house, where are we making that decision? Are we getting something because of a practical need, or are we getting something because it's a luxury, because of our ego, or what that thing is? So we want to really slow down and really take those things into account. And so in general, I want to pull that back. If I need to borrow for something like school or a car, that's fine. But I want to make sure that I'm getting the necessity level and not the super nice luxury level. So anyway, that's all I had for the show today. I don't know how long, 18 minutes.
Hey.
Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be here Tuesday, so we hope to see you next week. Subscribe to the channel so you get notifications, and I will see you then.